The singles court, and singles means one person playing one person, the singles court is 78 feet long and 27 feet wide. The speed of a serve is generally measured in miles per hour or kilometers per hour. Recall that 1 mile is 5280 feet and 1 hour is 3600 seconds. All of this information helps us to calculate the reaction time a player has to respond to the serve. First, let's look at a conversion. So if this court is 78 feet and the server stands here, the net goes across the middle, the receiver usually stands outside of the court. So really the serve is being served across this whole distance of the court. All we want to look at right now is that this distance that the serve is traveling is about 78 feet. A little bit more because of the diagonal, or it could be a little less if the receiver stands around here, but we generally just use 78 and say it's around that. To convert from miles per hour to feet per second, we'll just do a conversion like this using those two facts that we had from the previous page. One fact 1 is that 1 hour is the same as 3600 seconds. We can use it in this order with the hours over the seconds, and the reason I would want to do that is because we have some number of miles per hour for a serve over 1 hour. So miles per 1 hour. So miles goes in the numerator, per 1 hour in the denominator. And since I have hours in the denominator, I want to put hours opposite in the numerator so that those will reduce. And just like our 4 factorials reduced a minute ago, our hours will reduce. And if we can get our units to reduce, then we can write our result in a different set of units, and that's our goal here. So we have miles over hours because it's a speed in miles per hour. And if we want to calculate feet per second, then we'll do one conversion to change hours into seconds, and that's this first fact 1. And then fact 2, this next one, is giving me a fact about feet and miles, and I put it so that the miles will cancel. So 1 mile's on top, 1 mile's on the denominator, and I put it 1 mile is the same as 5280 feet. So now when I multiply across the top all the numerators, then I will get some Q, and it will be in feet. Okay, and that's what I'm after, right? And then in the denominator, when I multiply there, I have 1 hour times 3600 seconds times 1 mile. What I'm really doing, though, is doing 1 times 3600 times 1, and that's going to be seconds per second. So this could be Q feet per second. And that's what I'm after when I finish my conversion. So think about what you're starting with, write it as a fraction, and then think what you need to get to and use some facts. And you can flip them over if you need to, but what you want to have is your hours canceling, your miles canceling, and the new units, feet over seconds, feet per second. Okay, that's what we're after. So P is the speed serve and in miles per hour, and Q is the serve in feet per second. We have this formula, but what I am going to give you for a test is like 1 hour, 3600 seconds, 5280 feet, 1 mile, and you're going to have to know upside down or right side up and multiply it by what you're starting with to get to what you want to end up with. Okay, and we'll use this again for the track conversions too. So you'll really want to understand this. So let's go through it. Convert from a tennis serve speed of 129 miles per hour into feet per second. So starting with that, I'm looking at the 129 miles per hour, and I want to write that out as a fraction. So I'm going to write it as 129 miles over hours. 29 miles per, that's what that division bar means, per hour. And if I just put hour, I could leave it like that, or I could put per 1 hour, and then it helps me just a little bit on the next step. So I have miles per hour, and I want to end up with feet per second. So that's going to be feet per second. Okay, the feet I have to convert because I have miles to start with. So let's start with that. So the miles, I use a fact that converts for me, and I want 1 mile in the denominator and I want some number of feet in the numerator. And I know I want them in that order because I want the miles to cancel. And so when I'm looking at these miles, I know 1 mile is 5280 feet. I have it right here, so I can write that one in. And it does not matter that I chose to convert from miles to feet first, or if I choose to convert from hours to seconds first. It'll be equivalent. So I've got this fact, I have my miles reducing, and now I want to change my hours to seconds. So I'm thinking about the hours. In 1 hour, I have 3,600 seconds. That's my other fact that we were using before. So I'm going to make sure that I put it so that the hours and the hours, my hours will have to go here in the numerator so that they will cancel. And I want to use a conversion fact that has seconds. And so it's going to be 1 hour is 3,600 seconds. Now that I have all my facts written and I've done my canceling on my units, I can verify that I have feet over seconds, which is what I wanted to end up with. I do. Now I just multiply straight across the numerator. So I have 129 times 5280. And you can put it in if you want, but times 1 is not going to make a bit of difference. 129 times 5280 times 1, you can put that in if you want, although it won't make a bit of difference. Times 1 is not going to change my result. But then when I do equals, I get a big number. I should expect this because I just multiplied by 5280. That's a big number. So 681,120 feet. That's my numerator. And if I multiply across my denominator, I have 1 times 1 times 3,600. That I can do in my head. So I have 3,600 seconds. The units of seconds did not cancel with anything, so they're still the units for my answer. 681,120 feet per 3,600 seconds. Well, we would like feet per 1 second, not per 3,600 seconds. So we just think about it as a unit rate. I just do this division. The 681,120 divided by 3,600, and I get 189.2 feet per second. And when I write it as a result, I'm going to write my fraction sideways because that's what we're used to seeing, or you could write it out feet and put the word per and then put the word second. That would be fine too. So 189.2 feet per second.